Good day, sir. This is my report. Zimbabwe. Capital of Zimbabwe. Harare is formerly Salisbury, capital of Zimbabwe, lying in the northeastern part of the country. The city was founded in 1890 at the spot where the British South Africa Company's pioneer column halted its march into Mashonaland. It was named for Lord Salisbury, then British Prime Minister. Next is Flag of Zimbabwe. The green represents country's vegetation and land resources. The yellow represents the country's mineral wealth. The red represents the blood spilled during the liberation struggle. Black represents the black majority. The Zimbabwe bird is the national emblem of Zimbabwe. History. As early as 200 BC, the San people are believed to have first inhabited the country. Come the Bantu domination and the Shona people came, followed by the Nguni and Zulu tribes. In the mid-19th century, the descendants of the Nguni and Zulu tribes called the Nebel established their own kingdom in the country. After 2 years, the white minority of Rhodesia declared the country's independence from Britain, and in 1970, Rhodesia formally became a republic. The white minority of Rhodesia, led by Ian Smith, has continued to control the government, and they have resisted the black Africans' demands, which led to the chaos and war. In 1978, the white minority agreed to transfer power to the black majority, though Smith will still act as the country's prime minister. In the year 1980, the white minority decided to hold a multiracial election to settle national issues. As expected, the black majority won by the name of Robert Mugabe, who won a landslide victory. In April 17, 1980, the country celebrated its independence and changed its name to Zimbabwe. In 1850, the British come and conquered the country, making it their colony. They named the country Rhodesia, and after Cecil Rhodes of the British South Africa Company. Soon it became Southern Rhodesia in 1923. The European settlers of the country voted to become a self-governing colony of the British. In 1963, after the World War II, Northern Rhodesia, which is Zambia at present, and Nyasaland, now Malawi, voted for independence, while Southern Rhodesia chose to still remain as a colony. Next is National Anthem. The national anthem of Zimbabwe, also known by its incipit, Simudzai Moreza, Wedu we Zimbabwe. In English, Olive High, High our flag of Zimbabwe. Northern Nedebel, Kalibu Siswe, Ilizwe le Zimbabwe is the national anthem of Zimbabwe. It was introduced in March 1994 after a nationwide competition to replace the South African-derived Ishi Komborera Africa with a distinctly Zimbabwean song. The winning entry was a Shona song written by Professor Solomon Mutswairo and composed by Fred Changundega. It has been translated into English and Nedebel, the two other main languages of Zimbabwe. The Nedebel version is mainly sung in the Matabeleland regions of Zimbabwe, while the English version is not commonly sung. Some schools in Matabeleland South have introduced the Soto Shona version. The national anthem of Zimbabwe. Next is language. Many languages are spoken or historically have been spoken in Zimbabwe since the adoption of its 2013 constitution. Zimbabwe has 16 official languages, namely Chewa, Chibarwe, English, Kalanga, Khoisan, Nambia, Nadu, Nedebel, Shangani, Shona, Sign Language, Soto, Tonga, Chawana, Venda, and Xhosa. The country's main languages are Shona, spoken by over 70% of the population, and the Nedebel, spoken by roughly 20%. English is the country's lingua franca, used in government and business and as the main medium of instruction in the schools. English is the first language of most white Zimbabweans and is the second language of majority of black Zimbabweans. Historical, a minority of the white Zimbabweans spoke Afrikaans, Greek, Italian, Polish, and Portuguese, among other languages, while Gujarati and Hindi could be found among the country's Indian population. Deaf Zimbabweans commonly use one of the several varieties of Zimbabwean Sign Language, with some using African Sign Language. Zimbabwean language data is based on estimates as Zimbabwe has never conducted a census that enumerated people by language. Next, population. The current population of Zimbabwe is 15,214,220, based on projections of the latest United Nations data. The UN estimates the July 1, 2021 population at 15,092,171. President, incumbent Emerson Mnangagwa since 24 November 2017. Born September 15, 1942. Age is 79 years old. Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa is a Zimbabwean authoritarian revolutionist and politician who has served as president of Zimbabwe since 24 November 2017. Top 10 Tourist Destination. Zimbabwe is a curious beast. Ravaged by wars and civil strife, it had a particularly tumultuous exit from the age of European colonialism in Africa. And while there are still lingering human rights complaints and authoritarian tendencies in the government here, the general consensus is that those dangers are slowly but surely subsiding. That means Zimbabwe is once again entering the safari fold and beginning to remagnetize intrepid travelers with the promise of its Engelberg stud backcountry, its thick forest and cypress spotted hills, with its rugged eastern islands where curious monkeys huddle against the cold breezes and its deep caves underground riverways. First, in the top 10 tourist destination is Victoria Falls. Like the eponymous towns of Niagara in the US and Canada, the settlement is just a stone's throw from the roaring waterfalls that gave it its moniker. Thousands of people flock here to see the awesome sight every year too. They join the baboons in the jungles and delve into the Victoria Falls National Park just to the south of the center, gulping and gasping as the great curtain of water comes into view. cascading dramatically of its black rock cliffs in the plumes of steam and mist. Second in the top 10 tourist destination is Harare. Nearly 3 million people call the metropolis of Harare of their home, making it not only the capital but also the largest city of the nation. Set up on plateaus of Zimbabwe's Central Islands, it certainly looks the part. Endless steel-clad scrapers shoot up from its CBD, the economic kingpin of the country, and First Street and the downtown buzz with purring traffic and shoppers from morning until night. And there's history too, poking out with the great preservation of the National Gallery, the National Archives, and the Queen Victoria Museum, not to mention the wealth of old colonial builds. Apart from that, visitors here can wallow in the pretty parks and wander between the jacarandas that famously pepper the roadways. Third in the top 10 tourist destination is Bulawayo. Bulawayo believes as a sort of New Orleans vibe. It's got an age-stained colonial frontispieces that owes Art Deco and Victorian regal styles. It's got swaying trees dotting its old avenues, and the occasional Anglo-esque public house occupying the arcades. But this second city is more than just a historical relic. Fourth, Matobo National Park. The legendary Matobo National Park is a cross-shaped reserve found just south out of aforementioned Bulawayo, famed since time immemorial for its curious array of inselbergs and hoodoo rock formation. Its land of sculpted granite peaks and anthropomorphic bluffs. Fifth, Nyanga National Park. The home of the Hival is a wild and wonderful place, perched on the very roof of Zimbabwe. More than 1,800 meters above the sea level, boulders that creak in the cool breezes. Six, Swange National Park. Bringing up the forefront of Zimbabwe's ecotourism, offering with its night on 15,000 square kilometers of protected landscape. The Hwange National Park really fails to impress safari goers making their way through this section of southern Africa. 7. Mutare. The gateway to the farthest eastern fringes of Zimbabwe and the Nyanga National Park besides, Mutare makes its home between the steep side valleys on Manicaland. All around you can see the serrated tops of Bumba that enfold the town, making this one something of an enclave of civilization in the deep southern African wilds. Masvingo. Welcoming travelers to the deeper reaches of Zimbabwe, Masvingo is one of the prime drop-off points for VIP buses heading through to the southern edge of the country. And what a welcome it is, sat neatly on edge of the Mutirikwi National Park. The place has plenty in the way of outdoors exploration up its sleeve. 9. Lake Mutirikwi National Park. In the shadow of the sculpted Beza Range and the undulating hills of the southern Zimbabwe, the Lake Mutirikwi National Park is one of the country's more of the beaten rock areas for outdoors recreation. Small and compact, it completely enhances the reservoir of erstwhile Lake Kyle, which flooded the valleys here after the construction of dam in 1960. As you flit between the empty banks and the smooth granite hills of the surrounding area, you'll keep the company of ostriches and buffalo, not to mention local fishing folk searching for bass and bream beneath the waters. 10th is Chinhoyi, a small crossroads town on the main way west from Harare to Lusaka across the border in Zambia. Sleepy Chinhoyi is a kind of picture of rural Zimbabwe. It sits nestled between the rising ridges of the Manhonaland, West Providence, and comes with a sleepy vibe and a set of essential services, a bank, hospital, and the lake.